We don't want you to be nervous or anything.
Oh, no. Not nervous, just emotional. Welcome to the Tuesday, February 2nd, 2016 meeting of the Hot Springs Board of Directors. Tonight, our invocation will be led by Pastor Jess Gideon, to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand with me?
Would you bow your heads with us, please? Thank you, dear Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for leaders that still believe in a power bigger than themselves. Thank you for giving Hot Springs, Arkansas, a godly mayor and a God-fearing men and women who are not ashamed to bow their heads and hearts before you, seeking your leadership and guidance as they make difficult decisions. Decisions that affect the lives of so many different people. We all know that when you walked this earth, you didn't please everyone with the decisions that you made. So it is without question and quite certain that decisions made by this board will not please everybody either. But I pray tonight that you'll give these men and women the wisdom of Solomon, the patience of Job, the love of Jesus, and the hide of an alligator, and the sweetness of a songbird as they work in harmony, making tough decisions for those they represent. We pray, Lord Jesus, that you would encamp about them your angels of mercy and protection. Take care of their families. Lead, guide, and direct them, Lord, in everything they do. Thank you, Lord, for these men and women that volunteer a lot of their time and effort and energies to make our city better. And we'll love you for it. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hereby call this meeting to order. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Here.
Jones. Clark.
Here.
Williams. Here. Ramick. Here. Foley.
Here.
Carney.
Here. Okay. The first item of business is to consider the approval of the agenda. Directors, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda, including items, if any, to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. Okay, it is adopted. The next item of business is to consider the approval of the minutes of the board meeting, which was held on January 19th. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or modifications to the minutes?
Mayor, you pointed one out earlier today, which has been corrected, and it's in the version that you have before you.
Yeah, and it's just a typo. Okay, any others? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. The motion is adopted. In an effort to afford everyone an equal and orderly opportunity to address the items on tonight's agenda, I ask that all of our citizens and guests adhere to a 3-minute limit on your comments. For your convenience, we will display a clock timer on the monitors, and out of respect for all of us, I ask that you honor this request. While members of the boards may have comments or questions of the speakers, I ask that any general comments be reserved for the board discussion after all the speakers have been heard. As a reminder, would everyone please silence your phones and refrain from any disruptions of the meeting. And also, please, when you come to address the board, would you speak into the microphone very clearly and state your name and your address for our record. Should you need to leave prior to the conclusion of our meeting, we ask that you do so very quietly without discussing items of interest before you leave the door, because we will still continue the board meeting as we have other items on the agenda. We appreciate so much your attendance tonight. We thank you for coming. We hope that we can serve you well, and we thank you for your interest. At this time, are there any guests to be recognized? Oh, yes, we have guests, and I'm asking. We have a presentation of a retirement plaque for Airport Director George Downey. Is George here? I didn't see him. Where are you, George? Oh, back there. There you are. Yes. Yes. Do you want to say something about George? And I do. I just want to say it's been an awesome privilege and pleasure to work with you these last 5 years that I've been here, but you've been here a lot longer than that, and we really do appreciate the job that you've done and the way you've prepared for your exit, for your retirement. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Bill?
I'd just like to say that George has been with the city for over 22 years and you've done a phenomenal job at the airport. It has grown to what it is today because of your leadership. And George, I want to let you know that I appreciate your friendship, all the work that you've done for the city of Hot Springs, and again, your leadership at the airport. And you're going to be sorely missed. And we wish you well and hope you have great travels. I know that's what some of your plans are. So Thank you so much for all the service you did for the city of Hot Springs.
Thank you very much.
Did I hear you say fishing?
Fishing? Yes.
Speech.
Just a couple words. I want to thank this board, the mayor, and all of the past boards and the mayors and the city managers that have always supported the airport and have made Hot Springs Memorial Field, if not the best, one of the best airports in the state, and well recognized by the state aeronautics and by the FAA. And that all comes down to the leadership that we have in Hot Springs, and we appreciate that at the airport. And I've got a great airport staff that's going to continue on. They're not going to miss a beat. And the employees we have there have done a phenomenal job in customer service and public relations. They represent you very well. Thank you.
Why don't you, before you go, bring
Yes.
them up and let everybody see who they are? Sometimes.
We have Ruthie here. We have Glenn.
Count.
Yeah, I love them.
The others are camera shy.
Oh, no, come on up. Everybody from the airport. Let's get a picture.
The big party's tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to thank you again.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yes.
We need a picture of that right there.
All right.
No, George needs to be in the middle. Perfect. Okay, here we go. And once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, George.
Okay, and next we have Dr. Ryan Johnson from the Farmers Market with the annual Farmers Market update.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Ryan Johnson. I'll be presenting on behalf of the Farmers Market Board. We're going to review the 2015 year here, so I'll break down through that. So the breakdown of markets, this year we conducted 29 markets. That happened over 26 markets that we conduct from November through April, which are our winter market season. We had 27 regular market seasons, regular Saturday markets from May through October, and then 26 Tuesday markets as well, May through September, total in the 79 markets, so a year-round event at the farmers market. Here's a list of all of the farmers that we had participating in our market. That totals 41. This year we had the entire pavilion reserved for the year with reservations from farmers who prepaid for the entire year and had their booth reserved for that pavilion space with the whole thing full this year. Here's a couple of the, we lost one of the pictures. That's all right. Here's a couple of the farmers that participating. A lot of new faces this year. We have a good crop of people who have been here since the origins of the market in Hot Springs, but a lot of new faces that are farming, younger farmers that are coming in and bringing in that next generation of farmer. Value-added vendors. Value-added vendors are vendors who are doing baked good and different products where they're taking a product and then using their technique to improve the value of it. So taking local strawberries and making in jams and things like that. So all of our bakers here, we've got 23 value-added vendors, which were in the round area of our pavilion, filling that area up pretty well too every Saturday. Here's a couple more of our value-added vendors. Quite a bit of variety in what we've seen in that, everything from kombucha to pralines from New Orleans. So a lot of good items in those value-added vendors. Artist vendors. We have our ongoing relationship with the Fine Arts Center in town, and we had 53 registered artists vending at the farmers market this year with, again, a variety of things, including necklaces all the way to woodworking. We housed the Samaritan House as well, doing a lot of their woodworking that they were highlighting with their men that they work with. Here's a couple of the artist vendors that are doing pottery and some basket weaving at the farmers market. We had demonstrating artists as well this year showing some of their crafts on site. Entertainment, we had quite a bit of entertainment going on in our new farmers market band stage area. Donna Donahoe and the Fine Arts Center were in charge of coordinating bands for Saturday markets. We'd like to thank all the performers who donated their time and were out there at the farmers market playing. We had, I think, 29 bands that were covered out there that were a combination of paid and volunteer bands. Facility improvements. It doesn't like loading my pictures. That's all right. Facility improvements. This year we added in a little bit with our visibility for the bands by improving the stage. We were hosting them under the pavilion. It was a little bit of a sound issue and a little bit of a space issue, so we set up a concrete pad out in the grass area where we were able to permanently set our bands up and get better visibility and sound quality for them as well. Here's a picture of that stage in its relation to the pavilion as well. It worked out really well to have a small band set up with cover and good access to everything there. Food Truck Friday, we also added in Food Truck Friday as a new event this year. So on the last Friday of each month from June through October, we transformed the farmers market into a food truck event where we had multiple food trucks set up around the edges of the pavilion and set up tables with seating areas down the center of the pavilion for food and for that event to take place. We had, I believe, 13 vendors who participated throughout the year in those Food Truck Friday events. You can see the names there, everybody from LA Taco to It's Good Food, Hawaiian Shaved Ice. It was a very good event that was very well attended. That one didn't get anything. This was a sample graphic of what our Food Truck Friday graphic looked like. It was a really nice food to truck, farm to fender event graphic that brought in the bands and the sponsors. We also had quite a few sponsors involved in putting on Food Truck Friday. Citizens Bank helped quite a bit by covering the expense of that. Special events highlights. We had a little bit of interaction with other agencies throughout the community. The doula agency did a pregnancy wellness series at the farmers market. We also had the Hot Springs Young Professionals group of the Chamber of Commerce put on the movies at the market during the summer as well. It was a good draw for the farmers market to increase visibility with other organizations. And then again, hosting the Food Truck Fridays on Friday. Some of the other special events that we did are listed here. Emergent Arts doing some children's crafting activities. We also did Halloween costume contests. You can read. We had a medieval festival this year, which was really fun. Got to see some medieval demonstrations, and that was very well attended as well. The SNAP at the Market program. SNAP this year became quite a bit bigger than it was last year. Last year, at the end of the year, we had done about $3,143 in 27 weeks. Oh, that was this year, sorry. Last year we did, I don't have the total on here, but this year that was in our regular SNAP sales, 3,143. We were also awarded a $1,600 double buck grant, which allowed us to match spending at the farmers market when people use their food stamp program. So in total this year, we did $4,743.28 in food stamp sales at the farmers market. We had several volunteers from our community helping man the tables there. The Levi Hospital also contributed to the transaction fees that were associated with taking those payments, and Growing Healthy Communities helped with their volunteering the SNAP table. Right, this one talks about the 2014 launch. So in 2014, we totaled $732, then increasing that this year to $4,743. So quite a huge increase in the participation in that program. We expect 2016 to do the same, as we've gotten our funding again for the Double Bugs program to continue that as well. Women and Infant Children program is a separate program than the SNAP program, but is marketed towards women with pregnant and infant children, and it covers individual farmers at the farmers market, and we had 11 vendors that were registered to accept WIC and WIC vouchers. We also continued the youth market this year and had quite a bit of participation in the youth market. So from May through October, on the last Saturday of each month, we encourage our youth vendors to set up, and we don't charge them a booth fee. Then we help try and mentor them and allow them to get a foothold and learn how to do their selling of their craft and their homemade items as well. Good. This year we did a couple events with our farmers market bathtub. We did the Stuart Pennington Run Into the Tubs again this year. That was a very fun event. We got about a 4-foot tall trophy, not for winning any races, but we did get the best overall tub, so we looked good doing it. We just weren't going to keep up with the firefighters. And we also did the Christmas parade. That one's a cool picture of the same bathtub. We had Rudolph pulling it and a Christmas tree on the back, and increasing our visibility through the Christmas parade this year as well. All right, results this year. We had our Facebook likes increase. Last year we had 2,600. This year up to about 1,000 more than that, up to 3,500. Last year we jumped our newsletters from 747 to 855, so quite a few people more that are getting our newsletter each week. And our service hours, again, increasing with the time spent by the board and other service communities around that are donating time to Fine Arts Center, SNAP volunteers, and musicians. The numbers here going through the profit and loss statement are a little small, so you might have to refer up to your screens to see that better. Total income is at $16,451, and it looks like total expenses at $14,651, making a net operating income of $1,800. The balance sheet, same thing here. We have total assets, $7,367.10. Good. All right, in conclusion, that was the 2015 year in review. It's been a great pleasure to operate on the board. This is my last year as a Farmers Market Board President, also be on other committees and helping with the Farmers Market Board. But I've greatly enjoyed my time getting to volunteer with the community in that aspect. So I'll take any questions anybody might have.
You know, when I was county judge, they used to ask me to judge apple pie contest.
Yeah.
I haven't been asked to do that in a long time.
We need some good judges.
Not the county judge anymore.
No, but, I'm qualified to judge pies. Just like that.
In June,
my
we have
waistline is a testament to that.
I was a judge for the tomato judging contest this year, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, we judged about 50 samples of tomatoes. And if you're going to judge that many samples of tomatoes for breakfast, bring in an acid.
Yeah, those are bad on acid.
It looks great. All the pictures are fantastic, but it looks better in real life. So
It's
it's
great,
a really
yeah.
awesome place, and y'all have done a great job.
Thank you very much for your time. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you.
Okay, we will now hear our city manager's report, which is including the State of the City report. Mr. Burrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Before we get into the state of the city, I just wanted to give an update on the Majestic cleanup. For those that are interested in watching that progress, you can go to the city's website under the Public Information tab and be able to see a streaming web the actual cleanup. We've got some cameras on the Majestic site, and so you don't have to go to the site and get out and try to get a view of that. You're able to again go to cityhs.net, go to the public info tab, and you'll be able to see a camera of that action. To date, or in 5 days, the contractor was able to remove 87 30 cubic yard loads of rubble with 1,122 tons, and they've made a significant dent in the amount of rubble that is there. So it's looking very well, and we're hoping to still meet a deadline of the anniversary of that fire for the cleanup. So again, if you're interested, just go to our website and you'll be able to see that. As far as the State of the City report, this report is provided in accordance with Arkansas law, which states each year the city manager must prepare and submit to the Board of Directors a complete report on the finances and administrative activities of the city. So with that, the 2015 State of the City report, Board of Directors and citizens of Hot Springs, it is my distinct honor and great privilege to present the 2015 State of the City address and to report to you that the state of this great city is strong. As a professionally managed city, Hot Springs has had an extremely productive year, positioning itself for even greater success in 2016 and beyond. We continue to be the desired destination for quality living and are widely considered one of the best places to live, work, retire, and recreate. Although 2015 provided Hot Springs with many successes, your city lost one of its finest public servants with the passing of City Manager David Watkins. He was a true visionary whose impact on this city continues to be illustrated through some of the accomplishments we will celebrate this evening and for many years to come. As stated in last year's address, your downtown continues to be a focal point with unprecedented development and investment. As the heart of this city grew strong, the outlying corridors have followed suit, seeing tremendous growth. First, I will expand on the downtown development numbers, which could not have been possible without your leadership in the adoption of the Thermal Basin Fire District in late 2013. At no time in our history have public safety efforts impacted the community more than our efforts within the Thermal Basin Fire District during this year, 2015. Fire sprinkler systems have been installed in 18 occupied structures assessed as unsafe, and 2 new fire sprinkler systems are currently being constructed. Means of egress improvements were completed in 7 buildings, with similar improvements set for 2016 completion. In 2015, slightly more than $8 million in real estate transactions generated 18 new business opening in the downtown area. Downtown capital investment exceeded $22 million. This includes the long-awaited purchase and renovation of the former Austin Hotel, which will provide much-needed lodging at one end of our booming convention center. At the other end of the convention center property, Embassy Suites has begun renovations to its outstanding facility. Regions Bank will open its doors to a new banking center on Malvern Avenue in the coming months, as will downtown's newest hotel offering at the Thompson Building. This 5-story structure, long considered a gem of Central Avenue Historic District, is being renovated into a 62-room boutique hotel. It is hard to miss the scaffolding spanning the entire building's height, which just 5 years ago would have been impossible to imagine in downtown. As the work continues, this project and many others offer reminders of progress for our citizens and for the many tourists who visit the Spa City. 2 local education institutions, National Park College and Henderson State University, forged a partnership that brought higher education opportunities to the local community. The Landmark Building now serves as the base for an educational initiative focusing on building a stronger presence in Hot Springs by offering and developing programs suited to the needs of the area. The HSU NPC education program started with 145 students enrolled in 24 classes, totaling 765 credit hours. Students can now complete both undergraduate and graduate degrees right here in downtown Hot Springs. The north end of Central Avenue saw the city's purchase of the former Majestic Hotel complex in late August 2015. The galvanizing event of the Majestic Hotel fire arguably served as the catalyst that sparked a movement to redevelop and preserve your downtown. The community has used the Majestic Hotel fire as an opportunity to recommit to preserving and enhancing downtown to benefit the great citizens of Hot Springs, as well as all Arkansans. I am happy to report the removal of the rubble pile at the Majestic Hotel yellow brick section is currently underway. With some cooperation from Mother Nature, our contractor projects to have the site cleared by the 2-year anniversary of the fire. Downtown Hot Springs is not only the part of the city experiencing tremendous development activity. In terms of major building projects citywide, the city had a banner year. National Park Medical Center, one of the 2 regional hospitals located in the city, is currently undergoing a 65,000 square foot addition that will house a new cardiac center. Elsewhere, a Walmart neighborhood market will soon be the new anchor of the Indiandale Shopping Center on Malvern Avenue. This project involves complete site redevelopment, including demolishing several structures and improving the existing shopping center. Other new citywide projects include a CVS pharmacy at 3630 Central Avenue, a First Security Bank at 4129 Central Avenue, and a senior care and skilled nursing facility at the Belvedere Country Club site, which also will undergo further renovations to its clubhouse and golf course. Throughout the city, construction of new hotels and restaurants demonstrate a resurgence in our local economy. In 2015, the Planning and Development Department issued approximately 4,100 permits, totaling over $41 million in citywide construction activity. With major future projects planned in significant areas of the city, it is expected that this trend will continue well into 2016 and beyond. Downtown's remarkable success has translated into numerous improvements throughout Hot Springs. This report highlights just a few cities' outstanding projects and initiatives. The City of Hot Springs continues to provide quality of life amenities and customer service that our citizens have grown to expect. For example, construction is underway to link Hot Springs Greenway Trail with the National Park Service's Grand Promenade. This municipal federal connection was made possible through a grant from the Federal Highway Administration, with another multi-phase project expected to be awarded later in 2016 for the same program. Our Valley Street Skate Park was awarded Facility of the Year by the Arkansas Recreation and Parks Association. On the public safety front, our Hot Springs Police and Fire Departments have continued to provide outstanding services to the Hot Springs citizens and visitors. The police department was the first law enforcement agency in the state to receive accreditation status through the Arkansas Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Hot Springs Police Department will continue to prioritize police-community relations. In addition to providing 2 adult citizen police academies held each year, the police department initiated a week-long youth police academy that was held this past summer. The department also began implementing its first phase of the body-worn video system. As 2 additional phases occur over a 3-year period, sworn personnel will begin utilizing body-worn video cameras while performing law enforcement activities. The Hot Springs Fire Department continued proactive training and inspections with more than 25,000 staff hours of training on subjects ranging from firefighting to incident command and more than 5,000 pre-fire planning inspections of commercial properties. The Fire Marshal Division also conducted 357 fire safety inspections and 40 plan reviews on new commercial construction. Hot Springs Fire Department answered 1,889 calls for service, and the average response time to all alarms was 4 minutes, 26 seconds from time of dispatch. The Sanitation Department held 3 citywide events offered free of charge to area residents, including the Spring Fling, e-waste collection, and household hazardous waste collection. These events helped educate the public on proper disposal of toxic and hazardous waste, resulting in more than 315 tons of material collected. The department also began a pilot program for plastics recycling, yielding an increased participation level of approximately 50% in the pilot area. Citywide curbside plastics recycling will likely be offered in April 2016. The Community Development Block Grant program offered by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development continues to facilitate neighborhood revitalization infrastructure and new affordable housing to our residents. The CDBG program provided $456,000 to repair and install sidewalks to meet ADA accessibility standards and improve pedestrian safety for school children, disabled residents, and the elderly. The most notable CDBG improvements are located along Park Avenue, where bike lanes, bus shelters, ADA accessibility ramps, rain gardens, sidewalks, and safer crosswalks were installed. By leveraging CDBG funds with other city funds, the city was able to complete more than $600,000 of sidewalk and accessibility improvements in 2015. Higdon Ferry Road has now been widened from a 2-lane street to a 5-lane roadway with bicycle lanes and sidewalks. The entire 3-phase project stretches from Highway 7 South to Crawford Avenue. The city's contribution for right-of-way acquisition and utility relocation was about $3 million of the overall $19 million project. This is possibly the best leveraging of city funds in many years. It greatly improves safety and is a significant upgrade to one of the city's major gateways. Beyond the new investments and projects we have going on in the city, we're building a community. As a Hot Springs citizen, you are in a premier place, and our many community celebrations help provide a time for us to connect with one another. From the monthly Hot Springs Gallery Walk to the annual blues and jazz festivals, we offer something for everyone to see and do. The Hot Springs Documentary Film Festival, now an Academy Award qualifying event held at the historic Arlington Hotel and Spa, offers a glimpse into the art of filmmaking. No mention of festivals and events would be complete without the 98-foot-long Bridge Street's own world's first ever 13th annual world's shortest St. Patrick's Day Parade. I am pleased to report that the financial condition of the city is sound, with a balanced budget approved and maintained in 2015. The city's overall outlook is positive, with the revenue streams experiencing solid growth. Through November, our year-to-date sales tax revenue increased slightly more than 5% compared to 2014 figures. The 1.5% sales tax supports the majority of city services, including public safety, all of which impact citizens' daily lives. Sales tax figures averaged an increase of 8% in the 3 most recent reporting months, a promising sign for our community. Another bright spot for the local economy is Oaklawn Racing and Gaming strong across-the-board business growth. With facility expansion now complete, Games of Skill revenue showed a 33% increase compared to 2014. According to the Arkansas Realtors Association, new and existing residential units sold in 2015 experienced a slight decline of about 3.25% for the Hot Springs area. However, city-issued building permits, both residential and commercial, showed positive growth. New commercial permits totaled a valuation of $30 million spread out over 19 permits, while 62 residential permits valued at $10.2 million were issued. The local unemployment rate dropped to 5.6% for the last quarter in 2015, closely mirroring the state's rate of 5%. Levels this low have not been reached since April of 2008, widely considered the beginning of the nation's Great Recession. Several local businesses announced expansions and workforce increases, such as Alliance Rubber Company. Alliance, the nation's largest rubber band manufacturer, consistently posts export sales growth. Across the state, the tourism industry is an important economic engine, often referred to as Arkansas's second largest industry, with agriculture being the largest. Obviously, tourism is the driver of the local economy. 3 million visitors annually take the natural beauty, relax in our many area lakes, and dine at our award-winning restaurants. In 2015, Advertising and Promotion Commission hospitality tax revenues increased slightly more than 9% compared to last year's returns, bringing in approximately $5.8 million. As previously stated, the downtown area is experiencing resurgence in hotel options. Additionally, the Central Avenue corridor continues to post new lodging offerings. Large flagship hotels such as the Marriott, Holiday Inn, and Hilton have all either opened or broken ground on new facilities. The Hot Springs economy continues to progress, and we are optimistic about continued economic vitality for the number of reasons. The number of new business license issuances climbed, while occupation tax collections exceeded $732,000 and $688,000 in alcohol taxes was paid. A more in-depth review of the financial outlook is available in the 2015 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, known as the CAFR, which will be released later this year. In closing, Hot Springs is a great community, and during the past year, we have seen unprecedented growth, investment, and enthusiasm in our downtown area. In addition, we have seen transformations taking place throughout the city with large-scale construction activities, traffic improvements, and major infrastructure projects being completed. Though we will face our share of challenges and obstacles in 2016, we will not tire and we will continue to work for resolutions. As the sun is set on 2015, we look forward to the dawn of a new era with the hiring and leadership of our new city manager, David Frazier. With a hard-working, committed workforce, a seasoned professional management team, and the leadership of the board of directors, I am confident of a bright future for our city as we continue the progress and advancement of the state of our city in 2016. An addendum to this report will be available also on the web once we get that posted. Mayor, that concludes my report. I would like to take a moment and thank the department heads for all their submissions. Sheila Winter for organizing those into one document that we were able to get our hands around. I want to thank Lance, who authored most of the report, and Terry Payne for editing and developing the slideshow. So thank you all very much. Mayor, it's been my pleasure to present the 2015 State of the City report. Thank you, Board.
Good report.
It's been a long year, right?
I just want to know if that was Lance's drone that was flying around over Higdon Ferry.
It was John's.
A lot of people have contributed to a very nice document there.
There's no doubt.
Okay. Yes,
I, for one, am proud to be a citizen of Hot Springs, Arkansas.
I am glad you're here. Yes, it's a very, people say, why are you here? Well, a lot of you were born here. I chose to live here, so I really appreciate it too.
I'm sure a lot of us would like to amen what Director Ramick just said.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thanks staff, the department heads, everybody. You've done a very good job at making a successful report. Very good. Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is announcements concerning upcoming events. Do we have those? Anyone? Announcements? Okay, I have several. I think I asked Brian, but I don't know if we found out. The Citizens Police Academy, you need to sign up right now, and it's an awesome thing to go through. Everybody should do it just so that you will understand more about your city, especially if you do the drive-through at night. It's really an amazing thing, day or night, but it starts on the 17th, and it goes every Thursday for 6 weeks. And after you get through with that, you will appreciate our city even more. Mr. Ramick, you just went through. I've gone through. I highly recommend that you can go online, I think, and sign up. Is it the police department or just cityhs.net? You can go probably either one. Either one, and sign up. You have to put in a little background check there so that they'll know that you're okay to come in and see all the stuff that's going on. They teach us how to make meth. I mean, my goodness. So not just everybody should know that, right? So thank you, the police department. We appreciate what you do for that. And I think it was mentioned in your report that they did the one for the teens, too.
That's correct.
The youth. And then we have coming up this week a couple of things that are really important to our city. If you want to Facebook human trafficking, Garland County Human Trafficking Task Force of Garland County, And this week, February the 9th, from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the National Park College, there is a Freedom Film Festival. And it's all about human trafficking. And they have several different. Nefarious is a film that's just incredible. It'll open your eyes. You'll not look at our city in the same way. You'll look at people in a different way. I mean, after I drugged my husband to a few of these events, and he came in one day, I know I saw it. It's down at the grocery store, and it's human trafficking. I'm thinking, at least what this does is open your eyes. It's like it lifts the shade on some of the things that are happening, and people think, oh, no, not in our city. Oh, yes, in our city. And we have an awesome task force that's been working together. We have police that have been trained. They went to the Pulaski County Training for Human Trafficking. We have the Sheriff's Department that's been trained. The jail has been trained. Our assistant prosecuting attorney attends. We have therapists and professional people that come to the task force every month. We meet right here in this room every month at Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right? The second Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Second Tuesday at 1 o'clock. But this week at the National Park College from 9:30 a.m. to 6, they'll be showing a continual filming and information on human trafficking. And then on February 4th, which is Thursday night, we have a symposium at the Community Counseling Center services downstairs in their conference room. And that's a survivor of human trafficking will be there. She has spoken here before at the library, but she'll be here to speak. And that's a very interesting, eye-opening story that she will share with everyone there. And there'll also be a symposium and a panel of people that will talk about human trafficking. So these are things that are happening here in our city. There's a lot going on. And if you're interested in that at all, I would highly recommend that you attend some of those events. Okay, anything else? Something come to your mind? All right, the next item of business is the consideration of the consent agenda. Items in this section are of a routine nature and will be considered as one item of business without discussion. I will now entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I move for adoption of the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Ramick.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R1622. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R1622, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with the Historic Downtown Farmers Market, Inc. for certain property within the Transportation Plaza, 121 Orange Street. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So move.
Is there a second? Okay, and we will have the please tell us the presentation.
Jean Wallace,
Yes.
Hot Springs Parks and Trails Director. Thank you for your time tonight, Mayor and City Board, and I hope you were as impressed as I was with that the annual report. It is amazing what our farmers market does each year for our citizens and our visitors. And if anybody would like a copy of the PDF of that annual report that has all the pictures some of the pictures didn't show up here tonight, I'll be more than happy to email that to you because I have that as well. So I'm here before you tonight to recommend that you approve a lease. It's a ground lease at the Farmers Market Pavilion, 121 Orange Street, to the Historic Downtown Farmers Market, Inc., in exchange for providing the city's Farmers Market program this year. The City of Hot Springs has a history of providing its citizens with local, fresh, nutritious, and affordable vegetables, fruits, and local farm products. The Historic District Farmers Market has a sound track record in managing the city's Farmers Market program. And our Historical Association has taken various forms during this arrangement. We have tried a contract for services. We have had a lease in the past, and we've also, this past year, we entered into a community recreation program with the organization. So after weighing all of the pros and cons of all these different arrangements, our city attorney, Brian Albright, has recommended that we use a lease this year, and that lease is the most appropriate option for moving forward. There will not be any additional fiscal impact as compared to last year. The city will continue to provide the utilities and provide the landscape services. We partner with the Garland County Master Gardeners on this and take care of the grounds. In addition, the lease is for a scheduled amount of times. Any other time that the pavilion is available, the city will be able to reserve it for additional revenue to our city. So we think it's a pretty good deal all the way around.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We do have Dr.
Any questions? Oh, well, we have several board members here. Doc Klein, right here. Doc is the incoming president, so he will be the 2016. He's previously been the market manager. He also sharpens knives. If anybody needs a knife sharpened,
I need it.
He's a value-added vendor.
Did they do that at the market?
Yeah, Doc does.
Market.
He's sharpened several for me. He does a good job.
Okay, great. And so we have Dr. Ryan Johnson signed up to speak again.
Okay.
If there's anything else you want to add. Okay, all right.
I understood if I signed up incorrectly.
Oh, that's okay. You can talk again if you want.
I'd also like to introduce Elaine Neesmith. Elaine is a former board member with the market. She did a lot of their marketing and promotion. She also operates one of the food trucks and was the organizer of the Food Truck Friday program.
Oh, wow.
And she's also active in growing healthy communities in the SNAP at
Which
the
one
market.
is her food truck?
It's Good Food.
Which one? It's Good Food is the name of it? It's Good
Name of it.
Food. Okay.
It's Good Food. It's spelled
pretty
phonetically.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion here? Do you have any questions for?
No.
Anything? Okay. Would you please call the roll?
Yes.
Thank you.
Clark.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Ramick.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's adopted.
It is adopted. Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is consider resolution number R1623. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R1623, a resolution approving a bid to Craig Brumley Construction, Inc. for 2015-2016 waterline improvement project. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and our staff person is Mr. Carnahan.
Thank you, Mayor. The city board, I looked this up, has recognizing that the fact that we have a lot of 2-inch steel, galvanized, rusty water mains in the city that have been there a long time, and that they are the cause of many of our water leaks, wasting some of our precious water that we're trying to corral and improve on. Since 2007, you have already approved about $9 million of construction of replacing these old water mains. So I want to applaud you for that. And tonight we're continuing that by bringing you the 2016 program, where we'll have about 19 streets in the city that need new water main replacements. We advertised this and received 3 bids close together, good close bids, but the low bid was Craig Brumley Construction Company. He's worked for us before. And so we would like to ask you to award tonight this contract for $1,151,347.71 for this year's program.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Carnahan? Any questions? Okay,
Thank you.
you so much. We don't have anyone signed up for that, to speak to that. So hearing no further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Williams.
Aye.
Ramick.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider ordinance number 01605. First of all, I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01605, an ordinance waiving the requirements of competitive bidding for the procurement of a certain sole source wastewater system equipment, Ethernet connection controller, approving sole source supplier, Fluidine Corporation, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion, second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
And second, and Mr. Carnahan again.
Thank you again. Our Southwest wastewater plant, we want to get it connected now to our SCADA and electronic monitoring so that we can monitor the operation of the plant from remote locations and be able to control it. Also be aware of any changes that may be taking place there early on so that we can respond quickly. In order to do that, we have to install an electronic controller and computer system on site that has to be compatible with the treatment plant equipment, which is made by Fluidine Corporation, and they are the sole source supplier of that control that we need to buy. It costs and installed with training about $15,000. So we would like to ask you tonight to waive competitive bidding so that we can buy directly from this sole source supplier and award a contract to Fluidine for $15,000.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Carnahan? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Ramick.
Aye.
Foley.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider ordinance number 01606. First of all, I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say no. Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01606, an ordinance approving R4 medium-high density residential zoning district on 5 acres at intersection of Wise Street, Raymond Street, and Wade Lane, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion, second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
And a second. We have a motion and a second right there at the same time. Okay. Rick Stouter, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Applicant S&B Development LLC, on behalf of property owners Jerry Fauché and Yusef Kerba, seek R4 medium to high density residential zoning for approximately 5 acre tract located at the intersection of Raymond Street and Wise Street, which is Garland County Tax Assessor Parcel ID number 51321. The subject property is currently zoned R1, which is rural residential, has a future land use map designation of suburban residential, and is located in Board of Directors number 2. The subject property is currently vacant, and no previous uses of the property are known at this time. The property is bound by Raymond Street to the north, Wise Street to the west, and Wade Lane to the south. The specific reason for the requested zone change, according to the applicant, is proposed construction of senior housing age 55 and above. The project will be located on a 5 acre tract, currently zoned R1, approximately a half block east of a very large R4 zone tract of land and bordered to the north by M1 and to the east by R2. The adjacent R4 zone is an older urban neighborhood in very close proximity to Hot Springs City Center and Convention Boulevard that contains mixed uses, including commercial, other multifamily housing managed by the Hot Springs Housing Authority. An infusion of new housing construction would have a positive effect and contribute to neighborhood revitalization. The project would be conveniently located near medical services, pharmacies, grocery, parks, and a local senior center. No rental assistance or other subsidies would be available to the tenants as stated by the applicant. The likely next step would be to apply for site plan or plat approval from the Hot Springs Planning Commission, should this rezone be approved here tonight. The last step would be to obtain all necessary permits and approvals for construction and development from the City of Hot Springs, Garland County, and the State of Arkansas where appropriate. The findings for this request is that the future land use map would need to be redesignated to residential medium high. Applicant successfully demonstrates that the standards for favorable consideration have been met. Planning Commission is able to establish a basis for recommendation to the Board of Directors that the proposed change demonstrates compatibility with the goals and objectives of the zoning code, future land use plan of the city pursuant to Hot Springs Code Section HSC 16-211. Planning Commission's recommendation on this was they did hold a public hearing and duly advertised that. The meeting was held on January the 14th. That application number is RZ 150314. After calling for testimony and reviewing the record, Planning Commission, by unanimous vote of 6 to none, accepted the findings of staff and recommended that the board adopt an ordinance assigning medium to high density residential zoning and amending the future land use plan map to residential medium high. And that concludes the presentation.
Okay, thank you. We have some people signed up, so you want to hang around in case there's questions. Brian Fisher.
Hello, my name is Brian Fisher. I live at 710 Carver Street. I have some 18 acres adjoining this proposed rezoning. I am adamantly opposed to the idea for many reasons, but the main reason being that if it was a home, or homes for that matter, I would be in favor of such a thing, because that's what neighborhoods are built of. What these folks are proposing, from what I've basically read about it, is some government-free housing going to be put up there, and I just don't see that to be a good thing for the neighborhood as a whole, and certainly nothing that I want in my backyard, without a doubt. I have invested in that area in a lot of hard work and money to make my place a place that I will live for the rest of my life. I was even asked at the Planning Commission meeting, was I opposed to the 55-year-old group? Hardly. I'm fast approaching that myself, so that's the furthest thing from anything remotely with me. I'm good with retirees. I'm hoping to be one day. But I don't see that this, again, would be a good thing for the neighborhood, and I just don't want that.
Tell me again, I wasn't listening close enough. How many acres do you own?
I have 18.
18.
See, I was raised on that, on 5 acres there, and over the past 10 years, I've purchased 13 additional acres. So, and have been making improvements on it, and I do have some things that I hope to do with it one day.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Oh, did y'all have any questions for him at all? Okay. Terry Kuykendall.
Hello, my name's Terry Kirkendall. I'm at 179 Wade Lane, and Brian pretty much summed it up for me. I'm just opposed to it. This is the only place that I know of in central Arkansas that there's groundhogs. Today's Groundhog's Day, I know. And I've worked in the woods logging all my life, and man, this is a good residential place, for houses and such, not a housing complex. That's about it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Do y'all have any questions for him?
Yes, did you notice if the groundhog saw a shadow today?
He did not.
Okay, good.
Okay. Paula Pennington.
Hello, I'm Paula Pennington. I live at 500 Raymond Street. And this is our neighborhood over there is a real quiet neighborhood. There's not much traffic. There's, it's just nice and quiet at all times. If you've got elderly people moving in down there, you're going to have ambulances coming in and out a lot, hearing sirens and stuff, And I own the property right across the street. There's 2.5 acres there. I own that, and then I actually live up on top of the hill on Raymond Street, away from it. But down on Raymond Street, down below me, where this is going to be, there's drug deals going on down there all the time. And on the other side of the street, there's drug deals going on all the time. So, I mean, I call the police and they come out there, but they never do catch anybody. But anyway, it's not a good area for old people to live in. It's just not. I mean, I live there, but I've lived there for years, you know. So, but it's just not a good area to put older people in. I'm looking out for them because it's just not good.
Okay. Any questions for her? No questions. Okay, thank you. I do have some questions, Rick.
Do what?
Thank you. I appreciate you coming. Thank you. Okay, how many units would be, do you know? How many people how congested would that make that area right there?
I believe that it was 40 units, and I may be wrong on that. But it is supposed to be for an elder, 55 and older type of development.
Will they all have like spaces for cars? So would that be that meant much traffic more? Has a traffic study been done on that?
No, ma'am. This is just a rezoning at this point. We're assuming that when we get the development plans from the developer, it's more than likely going to need to go back to Planning Commission where all of those sorts of development details can be hashed out.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. And did you say that it is subsidized or not subsidized?
I think the applicant, could probably talk about that.
That'll be fine.
Would you like to have
yes,
him come up?
You want to tell us your name and address? So
Eric Scruggs. I am with S&B Development. My address is 113 Barone Way in Maumelle, Arkansas.
Okay.
I appreciate him giving the presentation. This is it's going to be a 48-unit complex for seniors 55 and older.
What kind of complex is it?
I actually brought some preliminary plans that shows the site plan and a floor plan and some elevation drawings if you guys would like to see what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about has more to do with the brick and mortar. What we're interested in is the use. Is this going to be independent residential duplexes, apartments, condos, or is it going to be assisted living?
Sorry, it's going to be one building, 2-story, and there'll be 24 two-bedroom units on the bottom floor, 24 two-bedroom units on the top floor.
And since you know
it's
all
all
that.
enclosed, and there'll be controlled access for the tenants, and we have parking spaces in accordance to what you guys would provide or
with that many residents.
Yes, ma'am.
So that would increase traffic in the area. I just wondered what the traffic would, if that would congest the neighborhood more than what's right there right now. That was my concern there.
Are you anticipating independent living or assisted living?
It's independent living, though. It is not assisted living.
Just senior?
Yes.
Is it rental or purchase?
It's rental. We have a sister property in Russellville that is the exact same way. It's a 36-unit complex there. Most of the tenants that we have there, they've lived there for 15 or 20 years, and so it's just a nice little community, basically.
It's just all of a sudden, kind of vote on it right now. Would y'all want to investigate a little or have a little discussion, or you want to go?
And that's why we have the Planning Commission.
Yeah, that's why we have the Planning Commission. We just hadn't had a public
They had a public
input.
hearing.
They had a public hearing.
Yeah.
That's their that's their purpose, Mayor, is to make a recommendation to you.
Yeah.
This is the first step. They still have to come forward with their design and their site plan, which will go through a complete review of the site of the development team that the city, all of the departments will go through it. It'll go through the Planning Commission. Another hearing will be held there as far as the structure is concerned. I was just Because this is a zoning request, that has to do with use. That's why my questions were focused in on the use, not the structure.
Yeah.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
This is for the three people that spoke previously. Did all of you attend that planning commission meeting?
I did. I didn't know anything about it.
I didn't either.
Okay, thank you.
Let's speak again just for a moment. There's something else I'd like to add to.
Stay close.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Up on the other side of me is part of the housing project. And there's no parking on either side signs that I got the city to put up because my daughter came over the hill and crashed into a car parked on the side of the road. And it totaled her car. And so the board met and I got them to put up signs, on either side, no parking at any time. Mm-hmm. Well, every so often, I go over that hill, mm-hmm. and there's a car. I almost had a head-on collision because I was parked on the wrong side of the road. I mean, and I'm afraid it's going to be the same way down there at the other end now.
Yeah, is that the public housing?
Yeah, the public housing.
Okay. All
but,
right.
I'm just afraid of the more cars and more traffic and all that stuff.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, do any of you have other questions? No questions? No concerns?
This is just for zoning.
Yeah, it's just a rezone, and then it'll go through the whole process of traffic flow and all that later, right? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, there's no one else signed up. Oh, and the SMB development, that's out of Little Maumelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Do you have other construction here in town? Other buildings?
No, ma'am, we do not.
This is your first?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Hearing no further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Foley?
I'm going to support the Planning Commission's recommendation that this is consistent with the use of that area. I'm going to vote yes. Aye.
Davidson?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Williams?
No.
Ramick?
Aye.
Carney?
Man. I mean, I read the packet, I saw the map, but I didn't, and I wasn't in a public hearing, so therefore I guess they did have one. Since it's just the change of the designation of the property, goodness. Okay. Then you'll come back to us later for all of those other...
No.
No, it won't ever come back to us.
It'll only come back to you if the planning commission denies their site plan and they want to appeal that decision. The planning commission will decide the site plan.
Okay. I'm going to abstain.
The ayes still have it. Passes.
Okay. Oops, that's it. Thank you for coming. The next item of business is the Board of Directors' comments. Do you have any comments?
I have a short report I need to give.
That's right. Go right ahead.
If you may recall, I believe it was last April, the board authorized the destruction of certain public records, which we were no longer required to retain. And those records, in that motion also included that a director observed the destruction of those records. Mm-hmm. Well, that event took place today, and we disposed of 17,000 pounds, which equals 8.7 tons of old records that we were no longer required to keep. For a further breakdown of that, 2 of those loads came from the Math and Science School for a total of 16,580 pounds, 8.29 tons. And then Fleet Service had a pickup truck with 820 pounds, which is 4.41 tenths of, or 4/10 of a ton. And all these loads were dumped at the city's transfer station.
Did you go through all of them to be sure?
I did not personally. I did, I did observe. I tried to look at the boxes as they went in. There were old RFQs, old pet licenses, numerous records, and we made use. The city made use of community service workers to dump this. So anyway, but
Were they shredded?
that, huh?
Were they shredded?
They were not. No.
Okay.
No. But they were taken to the city's transfer station.
So were you satisfied they were disposed of properly?
Yes. The only way I would have been more satisfied is we just burned them all up. But we don't have facilities for that. So, but they were disposed of in a manner I think that is consistent with our directive to see that they won't resurface anywhere, because they will go from there to a landfill called Twin Pines in North Little Rock.
I don't think anybody's going to be stealing expired dog tags.
Big thank you to the sanitation department. They were very beneficial in that.
Okay, thank you so much. Immediately following the adjournment of tonight's business meeting, there will be a public commentary here in the board's chambers, and for those of you who will be leaving after adjournment, please do so quietly. There being no further discussion, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, no. We are adjourned, and we will